Hello, everybody. We're just getting started. As you're logging in, give us just a minute for us to get all our folks in here. We usually get a few stragglers right after 4, but we're very excited to have you today for our roundtable. And oh, wow, I'm looking at a lot of folks that are coming in. Can someone tell me if they see our notes that have gone out on the chat? If you open the chat, can everybody see that? Sometimes we forget to enable the chat, so I want to make sure you guys can see it. Okay, I'm not sure.
I think on my settings, all I see is hosts and panelists.
Yeah, okay. I can see all the attendees, but I'm not sure if attendees can chat back, and that's unfortunate if we can't. And I'll tell you what, if someone can comment whether or not, I'm so sorry, we'd like to put all this in the chat. We also have a Q&A. So if somebody, there it is. Thank you, Kishka. Apparently our chat is disabled. It's not allowing people. Marjorie, we're gonna have to figure that out because we like to have the chat so everybody can introduce themselves. But sorry, everyone. We'll fix it next time. As we're getting logged in, let me just say welcome to today's roundtable. We try to do these monthly. We've actually missed the last month, and then unfortunately the month before that, our recording evaporated. And so all the folks who wanted to see this afterwards couldn't see it because our recording was lost in the cloud somewhere, so we couldn't find it. But we'll get back on track, and I'm super excited about today because we have some exciting announcements to make, and you're going to have an opportunity to get to know our two wonderful faculty members. So welcome again, everyone. We're delighted that you've chosen to join us on this Tuesday afternoon. I know you're all busy and focused on work and keeping track of very busy lives, I'm sure. So just a reminder, we try to keep this to 30 minutes, respect your time, keep this very focused on things that are impactful for you as a notary, things that will help you grow your business, expand your skills, and make work or even just life a little bit better. And so with that, I'm going to actually introduce two wonderful people. We are so excited, actually. And in no particular order, we have brought on board two new faculty members for Notary2Pro, and they're joining me here on screen. I'm just so excited about this. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I guess we'll go with Tamika. I'll go with you first. Okay. I'm so excited about Tamika Harris. Tamika, both of our faculty members, by the way, are Notary2Pro graduates, but Tamika brings a lot to the table. I mean, when we talked, Tamika, that first time, and you told me all the areas of notary work that you are involved with, all the things that you do, I'm like, that is a go-getter, right? So, so uh, but you do loan signings, of course.
Yes.
You're certified in estate planning.
Mm-hmm.
You do apostille work, which is fantastic. We need to learn more about that. You've done fingerprinting
Yes.
and reverse mortgage. Did I miss anything?
Basically all of the real estate packages. So
All
you
the
have
real estate stuff.
Yep, you have the HELOCs and reverse mortgage and loan modifications. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Great. A lot of hours of training and
Yeah.
a lot of time working. And Tamika, tell us about yourself. You're from Georgia,
Yeah,
or
I'm
not
originally
from Georgia, but you live in Georgia. Is that right?
right. I'm originally from Michigan. I've been in Georgia for December will be 6 years.
Uh-huh.
and I've been doing notary since 2021.
Okay.
And I started off with real estate. Then I switched over to notary. So that
Okay.
was kind of helpful too, to get to know those documents.
Okay.
Um, and then like messing around with notary, I end up getting into, like you say, the other things as fingerprinting, and I also done jail notary and
Oh,
a lot, yeah.
that's
So
right.
so I've done a lot.
Oh yeah, you personify sort of that go get 'em nature um of notaries, right? Notaries,
Yeah.
yeah, for some of us it's a side hustle, and
Mm-hmm.
so you got to hustle, right?
Yes, you definitely have to hustle.
Yeah. What's your favorite type of notary work?
My favorite, I would say, I really, really like loan signings because you're able to, like with the general notary, it's just you're helping somebody with a document or something. But
Uh-huh.
I like estate planning as well
Uh,
because people like there it's you feel like you're really helping them um
uh-huh.
get their affairs in order. So
Yeah.
when you like what you do and you know that you're helping someone in a situation like that, I like to do those things.
Yeah. It is an opportunity to help people in a
Mm-hmm.
really special way, I think. So,
Yeah,
and
it's about
uh,
people.
I'll take a second and introduce Christy Kawabe Miller. Did I say that right, Christy? I always
You
just
got it
say,
perfect.
okay, I always just say Christy, so I wasn't sure about that, but glad. And I am also so excited to have you on board. Very first time I spoke with you, I was just thrilled because you have such a commitment to helping other people. And I think this what really brought you to this is your desire to share kind of your knowledge with other notaries and folks. You're a teacher by background,
Mhm.
and you've done a lot of different notary work as well. I see actually in your sign, we've got a bunch of different. No, I like that. We should just do this. And yeah. Can you introduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everybody. I am Christy Kawabe Miller. I am one of the newer notary faculty members for Notary2Pro. I've had pretty extensive training, and I'm very proud to be a notary. I initially started out as a teacher for students with special needs, and so from there on, it kind of had this long transition into becoming a notary and starting my own business. And I really enjoy the freedom of what this job really can provide for us and the ability that I am able to help other people get through these stressful times and to feel, somewhat settled in these moments when it's just like, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of signing, it's a lot of information. And so I really feel that we can be impactful in this role as notaries just to bring about that stress-free experience for them. I'm trying to think. I do enjoy doing the trust delivery agent
Uh-huh.
role as well as being a loan signing agent. I think just that whole experience, as Tamika said, that it is so essential to have a plan and to feel like things are in
Mhm.
place and to be able to be a part of that preparation for people. I think it's
Yeah.
important to know that like we're all looking out for each other, right? So
Yeah.
definitely grateful and glad to be here.
Wonderful. One of the things I'm doing this in mostly to keep the legacy of my mom, Carol Ray, our founder, alive. And I think she would just be thrilled with the orientation that you both have to, you've learned, you've developed, you've got some great experience, and now you're trying very hard to share this knowledge and experience with other people and help them. And so for me, it warms my heart because it makes me feel like we're just continuing the tradition that was started with my mom 15 years ago. So with that, can you share before we get into today's topics? Which, by the way, folks, today we're doing a free for all. We're gonna we're just gonna answer a bunch of questions, and so I'm sorry that the chat is disabled, but you can use the Q&A to ask questions, and we'll put it out to our faculty as well. But I also have a list of pre-prepared questions that I'm hoping is gonna almost stump Tamika and Christy. We'll see. We'll see if we get there. But before we get there, can you, we talked about Tamika, you're living in Georgia, you're a Georgia notary,
Yes.
which is an attorney state
Mm-hmm.
for real estate. Did that take some getting used to?
Yes, that took a lot of, that's what actually pushed me into other fields in notary because of
Yeah.
the fact of being an attorney state. So I
Yeah.
wanted to pick up other avenues, you know, to keep with the notary
Yeah.
business. So that's definitely one of the reasons why I, you know, hustle so hard and did more than just
Yeah. Expanded out, expanded your horizons. Great.
yes.
And Christy, you are in Orange County, California.
Yes, yeah.
And have you lived there or you for a long time or came from somewhere else or?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fortunate to say that I was born and raised and I'm still here.
Awesome. Okay. I live in Arizona and it's about 1 in 25 people you bump into are from Arizona. Everybody else was born somewhere else and came in. So that's why I asked the question. Christy, you shared in your bio that one of your things you love to do is sports, hiking, and taking your dog for a walk or hikes. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a blue nose pit bull and she is 11 years old and just the light of my life.
Oh, nice. What is a blue nose pit bull? Does she actually have a blue nose?
I wouldn't say it's blue. I want to say it's more like grayish, maybe like a hint of blue in the sun or something like that. But no, it's just the type
Okay.
of breed that she is, and she's absolutely a sweetheart, and definitely stands outside of the stereotypical ideology behind what people think pit bulls can be. And she's
Yeah.
definitely my office supervisor. So I
Oh,
love
really? Okay. Okay. Well, we may have to have your supervisor on camera
Of
at some point.
course.
Everybody loves a dog, right? Well, not everybody, most people. And Tamika, tell us something personal about you. As much as we've talked, I think you and I, we're all business when we talk. What would
Yeah.
you like to share with the group?
Um, well, have I have a 16-year-old and a 26-year-old. So
Uh-huh.
I'm basically on both ends of the spectrum. So I stay so I stay busy with that. Um, so yeah, it's just yeah, I just really stay busy with both of them because it's like
Yeah.
the younger one seems like the older one, and the older one seems like the younger one. So it's
Oh,
just
okay.
it's, some, it's
Role
always
reversal there.
yes.
And which
So
one is more like you, Tamika?
the youngest, she thinks she's
The
the
young,
mom.
and
Yeah,
she's very mature for her
yeah,
16-year-old age. Nice.
yes,
Okay. And
yeah.
do you have an office supervisor like Christy? Do you have a dog?
No, but we want to get a
Oh,
rabbit. We want to get a rabbit.
a rabbit. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's a great office companion. They're very quiet.
I think it's a start because that that one is contained, so it's a start.
Okay,
He
great.
eventually wants a dog, so.
All right. So for our audience, I want to thank you all for being patient. Hopefully you enjoyed meeting our new faculty, and we look forward to you reaching out to them and to us, and in the future. We're just so excited to have them here and to give an opportunity for you to get to know them. I have a bunch of questions, and I'm just gonna go. We're gonna go sort of through them randomly, and we'll see where we go with our conversation. Here's something that's been on my mind a lot, right? Notaries, as we talked about, Tamika, you're a go-getter. You got to get into all these different areas to really make a go of it. Christy, I think you found the same thing. But one of the things that all of us struggle with is, okay, you got the learning and you know how to do this, but how do you promote yourself? And is it uncomfortable for you to promote yourself because you come across as salesy or pushy or demanding? What's your take on that? Would either of you like to comment on that?
Well, I believe that just conversation and word of mouth. So with me, I have magnets on my vehicle. I
Mm-hmm.
have t-shirts. I have button-up shirts. So I just
Uh-huh.
wear those out and about. And sometimes it strikes up conversation. And then
Uh-huh.
I mention it on social media and
Okay.
like being with people seeing it instead of you always having to say, "Hey, I'm a notary." But if someone sees it constantly, then I
Mm-hmm.
think that opens up doors for conversation.
So conversations and future business.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Especially
And
in-
social media, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Christy, are you active in social media too?
In my personal life, no, but as through
Okay.
marketing and trainings, I found that it is essential to
Okay.
stand out, especially in California, there's thousands of notaries within my area. And so
Mm-hmm.
to really make sure that you're using all of your resources, I found even though I'm not necessarily the most comfortable with selling myself or promoting or trying
Yeah.
to think of ads or things like that, it has been a challenge, but I think in a way it really does help. And it's shown that even
Mm-hmm.
more recently, I've been getting calls directly and I always ask them like, hey, how did you hear about my services? Because generally I get my jobs through signing agencies, right? And so
Yeah.
I do get those direct calls. I get very excited, but it's also like, well, how did you hear about me? And so it's either word of mouth, it's either Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn next door, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
People somehow, if you just throw it out there, somebody's bound to see it. And so I found that
Yeah.
lately it's been really helpful. And I
Mm-hmm.
think not necessarily like I don't really necessarily sell myself and my services other than
Mm-hmm.
when it comes into like casual conversation that, hey, what do you do and why do you do it? And then I kind of give them my whole spiel and explain how essential this role really is and that people need to learn more about where notarizations come in hand and also like the different types of documents that we do notarize and the different services that we can provide too. So I just try to educate them and spread more knowledge about what we can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are like, oh yeah, I think I do need a notary. And then
Oh,
that kind
yeah.
of create that
Mhm.
organic connection for
Uh-huh.
families and friends. And then I always
Right.
try to be like, hey, if you know somebody and you tell them that they referred you, like I'll give them a discount, just kind of make them feel special and also valued for their belief in you.
Oh, great. Now, you mentioned you're sort of taking the approach of educating people, right? And just sharing sort of your knowledge, right? That's a wonderful way of just selling your expertise, right? They build confidence. You're building confidence, right? Notary to
Yeah.
Pro has always taught, look, do your job well, right? And you will represent yourself and get return business, certainly. Do you find do you find that the the work that you get direct is more lucrative than the work that you get through signing services? Just your assessment that from Tamika or Christy.
Yeah, I definitely would say so because when they do connect with you directly, they'll be referencing either your website or something and ask what's your price. And so at that rate, you can set it. And it's hard to always set down like an exact number at first because there's a lot of factors out, especially in California. We have the $15 flat fee, but then you can do travel convenience fee
Yeah.
as well, based off of like how soon they want the appointment or if they book ahead. And so with that, I feel like there is more wiggle room to have that ability. But
Mhm.
when you're under a signing agency, you tend to, especially starting out, it's like you kind of have to accept what they're offering, or there's a
Mhm.
little wiggle room to counter offer. But sometimes if you counter offer too soon or for too much, then they're like, oh, no, no, we're okay. We'll go with someone else. So it's always
Yeah.
a balance, especially starting out. You kind of just have to get your experience and build, and then you can kind of
Mhm.
counter and kind of grow on that. Did you want me to answer Freddie's question?
Yeah,
And then,
please.
sure,
And I think is
yeah.
it Frida? Frida
Or
Matt.
Frida,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Sorry,
Uh-huh.
tiny running. I said Fred. Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for the question. End of life planning, I can go on a whole spiel, but essentially I am a partner with a company called My Life and Wishes, and they are a beautiful company that has set up these resources for people who are either planning, I don't necessarily like to call end of life planning, but I think just life planning in general, just to have your estate affairs in order, your accounts written down, words and wishes to loved ones and designations of certain things. So it's a lot to do with like estate planning and having those kinds of things just set in stone on a platform that you can essentially have people feel more ready to transition for that, so they don't have to worry about trying to find out where all this information is in these important documents, because it's all in one on a website called Your Legacy Vault. And I think it's just such a beautiful idea that I wish I knew when I was kind of going through that transition with my family too.
Yeah. Things like medical power of attorney, financial power of attorney, wills, so forth.
Yes.
Trust me, I've been through it several times in the last couple of years. It's very important to have those things settled. And I think as a notary, being involved in that process and being kind and caring with people as they're going through is so important. Patient.
And also,
And it's definitely great to know about, because you wouldn't think, oh, go ahead, Tamika, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say also with the My Life and Wishes, with it being digital, you can always update it to keep everything current. So that's a good platform.
That's great. Yeah. I think they also have a notebook now that there's a bunch of companies that have developed, like one is like this binder that everybody that gets. So wonderful service. So I hope that answered Frida's question. I have a fun question. Okay. What do? You imagine you're going to a loan signing, right? And we talked about Christy has a dog, Tamika does not have a dog. What happens? You can sit down at that table and, the rabbit, the dog, the cat, the kids, the grandparents. My wife went to a signing once where the people in it was actually a retirement community, were having a cocktail party at the house while she was trying to do the signing, and they're bringing over big tall martinis while they're trying to do the signing. What do you do? How do you handle this when there are distractions, either fun distractions or maybe not so nice distractions? What do you do when you encounter that? Have you ever encountered that? And what do you do? Any thoughts?
I've probably only encountered maybe the pet situation.
Okay.
So it's just, I would like acknowledge the pet, or, hey, but then after that, I won't just go into it. Some people want to play with the pet and scratch the belly and everything. I just don't go that far, because that's just gonna open it up to go further. So
more things, yeah.
Right. So I just acknowledge it. Then I'm like, okay. So I'm like, we can get this done. It won't take too long. And, just try to stick to the script. Just say, it won't take too long. And then you guys can get back to your day. And
Yeah. I like what you just said. Stick to the script, right? Try to bring them back, right, to a focus on this. It can waste your time significantly, right? If you're not. Christy, you kind of caught on to this question. What do you have?
Yeah,
something
definitely
to share?
No, I've had both situations actually. One, especially with animals, I always tell them I'm pet friendly. So if they're asking like, hey, is it okay if the dog's around or whatever? So I kind of just let them know, like, I am comfortable with animals. However, like if it would help you focus more, maybe we can put them in another room or have them outside. But if that dog or cat is in the house, I will like acknowledge them and say, hey, are they okay to pet them, walk over. As I'm walking over, just kind of ask them like, oh, what's their name? And kind of get that part out of the way to acknowledge the animal, but then also be able to focus on the signing. So just recognizing the environment, the people, and then their, loved one, whether it's a fur baby or not. And then so far as like a social event, I've had an individual who actually was, he cracked open a beer because it was the end of the day and he's all relaxed. And so I actually had to be like, I'm so sorry, sir. Like, I do apologize. I never want to tell anybody what they can and can't do in their own home. And I understand it's the end of the day. You just want to relax, but like legally, I'm not allowed to proceed if anybody is under any kind of influence. So if maybe we could just like get through the signing as fast as we can, and then that way you can just relax so that it's all done. And so
Yeah.
I like just kind of seeing it head on rather than kind of getting too far and then being like, never mind, I
Yeah.
have to stop.
How was his response to that?
Uh, Initially he was not happy with that, but I
Oh,
think as he saw that I wasn't coming from a place where I'm trying to tell him what he can and can't do, rather than just being
mhm,
like professional and I'm sorry that this is just as a notary,
mhm,
I'm legally not allowed to proceed. Kind of just sticking with
mhm,
that, continuing and moving forward and not bringing attention to
mhm.
it. I think he gained that respect and he was
Yeah.
happy to finish the signing.
Well, good. I think one thing that happens if in that circumstance is if that person is really anxious to get to their beer, you will have a very quick signing. So maybe we should put that in place with everybody. You can have a beer as soon as we're done.
Crack it
I
and we'll
don't know.
celebrate and then
Yeah, we'll
goodbye.
celebrate with champagne, beer, whatever. I don't know. Here's another thing that has been on my mind is I think about our students, right? Recent graduates, folks who are just starting out. And, we teach students to accept as just as much of the work as they can initially to learn, to get experience, to get exposure to signing services and title companies and everything. Don't turn work down if you can avoid turning it down. But that creates a really weird situation where you might have all day on Wednesday where there's not much going on, and then suddenly you have two signings on Thursday, and then Friday you've got one at 7 in the morning, right? So my question is, how did you experience that as a new notary? And what advice do you have for new notaries about managing their schedule and making sure they're on top of not just the signings, but the pre-work, the printing and the post-work, the mailing and delivery of documents and so forth? How did you manage that? And do you have any advice? I always I always have the longest winded questions. Sorry about that. But what do you guys think? Anybody who wants to?
Did you want to
Yeah.
go?
Sure. Yeah, so I always try, especially in the beginning, it was a very uncomfortable shift because I was used to working like a, 8 to 5 job, Monday through Friday, where it's
Yeah.
consistent work. But this one has been definitely a transition where it's like you kind of have to just go with the flow with what things, when things come up. And yes, it is essential to click that button as soon as you get those notifications because that gives you the best shot. However, even clicking that doesn't mean you have to take it. Is say you get this opportunity to have a signing and then there's a window for another signing that's like 2 hours after.
Yeah.
Generally I wouldn't accept that because or accept the second job because I want to make sure that I give the amount of time that's necessary to prepare for the signing, conduct the signing, and say something does come up.
Yeah.
I always allow, at least for right now, I allow 2 hours per signing because they might not have their information ready. They might ask a lot of questions. There might be problems with the documents. And so that
Mhm.
buffer of time really helps me be able to get those problems resolved if they come up. And if anything, then I would have more time to get those scans in, make sure everything's corrected
Mhm.
ahead of time, and then send it in before just to make sure that everything is processed appropriately. So it is good to accept as many as you can to get that experience. Just make sure you give yourself enough
Mhm.
time and not feel that rush. Because once that rush happens, then it's like problems
Yeah.
can happen, mistakes can come, and you want to avoid that as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I agree that allow yourself time. So it is important to take, as many assignments so you can get comfortable, but also allow yourself time because you'll find it's gonna be things that pop up that you just wouldn't expect, like getting
Mhm.
documents at the last minute, reprints, you can't
Mhm.
figure out how to fax back and different things like that. So
Yeah.
always allow yourself at the beginning, allow yourself time. So
Yeah.
the assignments will come, but just don't try to bite off more than you can chew because leave
Mhm.
room for error. You
Yeah.
don't have to.
Well, you both also live in very dense traffic areas, I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I can't think of any maybe New Jersey might be worse than Georgia or Orange County, but traffic's a very big variable, right? So you have to
Yeah.
plan for your travel time.
Definitely.
What do you both use to keep track of your schedule? Just to make sure that is it on your phone? Do you use a computer? Are you using a calendar program? How do you track it?
I use my Google Calendar, but I also use Notary Gadget, which it automatically imports to my Google Calendar. So I
Right.
always have it on my phone or my computer.
Wonderful. We've
Yeah,
had Notary
absolutely.
Gadget on, and they're wonderful. So
Mm-hmm.
I use that, and I also use Closewise. So initially I was doing my own Excel sheets, and then that kind of got a little cumbersome. And then I learned about Closewise. And so Closewise has had this awesome program that does your income, your invoices, your mileage, your logs, your expenses, and things like that. So
okay.
I've been shifting over to that, and it's been really helpful because it kind of, you can put in different
Okay.
multi-stops.
Okay. Oh, Closewise. We're gonna have to learn about that one more. I'm
Definitely.
not familiar with that. Awesome.
Yeah,
I
they're
can
just
also connect you with them too.
Wonderful.
yeah, they're just doing like a new rollout. So I've been looking into them as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, maybe we'll have them on in a future call. I don't see any other questions today. No open questions from the audience. We would uh, love to answer your questions. Just a reminder, we do these once a month. And if you have ideas or comments for topics or things you want us to explore, please shoot us a note. We'd love to hear from you. We'll make sure that that these are on future agendas. We hope you've enjoyed meeting Tamika and Christy. I have one closing question. It's all about the pens, right? You have a pen. You have to have pens. How many pens do you buy or go through in a month?
In a month, I would say maybe 10, because people now they're starting to give them back.
Oh,
Or
really?
now, because I make a comment. So when I first started,
Yeah.
I had cute, good pens, but people keep them. So now I have these, which
Yeah.
are the cheap ones. So keep them or not. So, but I would say
Uh-huh.
now they kind of ask now, like, do you want your pen back? So if they
Okay.
ask, I'm like, it's fine. But if they don't, I just let them keep it. But I would
Yeah.
say I probably now go through maybe like 10 to 15 a month.
Okay. So Tamika's law is the more expensive the pen, the higher the odds it's going to disappear.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
That's quite true. Yeah.
Christy, same?
Same. I use the same big pens now, and they tend to like cap them and give them back to you. So I'm like, okay, thanks, sure, I
Okay.
appreciate that. But if
Mhm.
they tend to just have it there and leave and not say anything, I tend to just let it go, and they can have
Yeah.
a free pen and hopefully a little memory from their
Yeah.
experience.
Have you thought about getting pens made with your name and phone number and your notary on them? It can be a little pricey, but I
Yeah, I
wonder if
definitely
you
think
get
it's worth
repeat
it.
business. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good advertisement.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, anyway, a topic for another time. Thank you guys, and Marjorie, thank you for putting this all together for us. To our audience, we want to thank you for joining us. We hope that this was useful for you and that you enjoyed meeting our team. We look forward to seeing you again next month. And please reach out if you have anything to cover with us. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Hello, I'm Michael Ray, CEO of Notary2Pro. Thanks for joining us for this webinar. Be sure to see our website, notary2pro.com, for more information and resources. Also, don't forget to sign up with us there for great additional updates, news, and tools. Notary2Pro is the most respected professional signing agent course in the United States. Founded by Carol Ray in 2009, Notary2Pro has trained more than 10,000 notaries to become professional signing agents. Our graduates are preferred by more signing agencies because only Notary2Pro enables notaries to practice error-free signings. Thanks again, and see you next time.